I think those fish and chips are overrated, but, well, who am I to decide? I'm not the one that gives out the fish and chips placard that they put on the wall being like, best fish and chips. Fucking tourists. It's not even tourists, it's the people that live here. No one comes to visit this place. It sucks. Oh, man. Alright, guys. Alright. Top right-hand side. Our blue Zerg player. We've got Reynor. Up against the red Protoss in the top left. Harstem. British food is ... well, boring. Yeah, it's pretty boring, British food. Honestly, I kind of like British food if I've been away for like a couple of weeks. I've come back, I'm like, oh yeah, I've missed this. And then after about a week, I'm like, so which Asian restaurant can I go to now? Because I'm really bored of eating English food. Yorkshire pudding is so good. Yorkshire pudding is so good. That is true. The one thing I love about British food is pub food is very good. And also, like a roast dinner or carvery is good, but I couldn't eat it every day. Like, it's like a once a week, once every 2 week kind of thing. That's why Brits eat so much Indian food. I mean, on this street where, I shit you not as well, on this street where this fish and chip shop is, so there's about 5 fish and chip shops within like 200 meters of each other. This street has 27 Indian restaurants. 27 Indians, 1 Italian, 1 Chinese, and a few fish and chip shops. Isn't that just ridiculous? I don't know how they all stay open, but they do. That's how much Indian food we eat here, apparently. It's crazy. Roddy with the 29 months says, I pushed the button and forever resub to my man. Hope to see you again soon. Have fun with the games. Thank you so much, Roddy, with the 29 months. We had a lot of fun in Ukraine with the button. Did you know you pushed the button? Waitress can't. It was very fun, guys. Honestly, if you get a chance to go to WCS in Ukraine, you should, because you get to push the button in the nearby restaurant. It's very fun. Very fun. Alright, guys. Adept coming across to the right-hand side. The early game PvZ is getting established, and it is a fairly fast robo here from Harstem. We've seen this a couple times from him. We'll see which variation this might be. With that robo going to be finishing up in a few moments. And Adept from Harstem going to be able to coming up in towards the high ground. Why am I making a Russian Roddy impression? Because pushing the button was in Ukraine, so it's like was in a Ukrainian accent. It was a lot of fun. It kind of had to be there, but not really, because all it was is there was a button. But I mean, it was fun. I'm telling you, this is why you got to go. You'll understand the experience. Twilight Council is going to finish up as the Warp Prism Chrono boosting out of the Robo here. Straight into the charge as well from Harstem. It feels like this has potential to be Immortals as a follow-up, right? And go straight across the map for some aggression. Go into a bit of an attack here nice and quick. As we do see those lings coming down to the bottom side. Obviously the charge nice and quick here as well, so no gases. He is going to use the Stalker to push away this Overlord, which will. I love this timing as well, because it's that sort of time where you kind of do expect to see these gases being taken. And I love the fact that he actually does take one of the gases to sort of show the idea to Reynor, hey look, I'm taking my gas, I'm not trying to all in. I'd be surprised if he mines from this gas. If he mines from this gas, well, he's not mining from the gas in the main base. Yeah, you can imagine how much of a surprise that would be. He's going to put one worker in it. Maybe, again, just the lings run up there and they see that gas mine. They'd be like, oh, wait. You see what's going on. And there's a couple more lings coming through into the center. More gateways on the way up. Of course, this all in just getting ready to go. Is Reynor going to spread out his lings to keep an eye out for anything coming across the map? That Warp Prism loads up with 2 Immortals already. Rotron about to finish from Reynor in the natural expansion. All of these Zerglings backing away to the right side. He is just going to clean up this watchtower to begin with, Harstem. Poor Zergling. He's just on watch, gets killed instantly, no doubt about it. Well, here come the Zealots. When a laser did this, or when Harstem did this against a laser shut down these Zealots from coming across the map, and that was a pretty big deal, it felt like. There's Harstem right now just going to head into the main, but then Queens will deny that, so Immortals will not make progress there. As he backs off, he's got a lot of minerals, he's got a lot of gates though, so as he warps in, those Zealots come in pretty good numbers. And obviously, we'll soon have those units from the center of the map too. But Reynor Well, he is droned up to 53, which is quite a lot of workers for an attack like this. Zerglin's going to grab the Adept there for the surround. Already some of these drones actually dropping. The Spine on the third base not going to do much either as more Zealots warping in. We're not trying to get more roaches up in the natural expansion. Stalker does get surrounded and caught off guard by those lings. As the Zealots and the Immortals are the real kind of power units here, though. Those Immortals getting to work already. The Spine Crawler is going to go down, and Harstem's just going to kind of sit here. He doesn't want to fight into this position, though, because of the choke point. But if the Roaches are just going to sit there, the Immortals can sit out of range very easily and just deal so much damage anyways. The Queen has a transfuse on it, will drop it onto the Roach. A couple of Zealots on the top side going down. More Zealots have warped in. A Spine coming in from the third base. Warp Prism comes in now to help micro those Immortals. Getting rid of the Queens means there isn't going to be any anti-air to really shut down the Warp Prism as well, so you can very safely warp in here. Now the drones are trying to pull through, but they're a little bit stuck. Finally, Mineral walks through and will get into the front lines to try and tank. And, well, is it going to be enough? Probably not. Those Zealots are still just swiping their way through this. Reynol's supply is dropping fast and hard. I mean, these Roaches are continuing to die very quickly, and these Immortals are putting in the work. 14 kills on each of them, and rising, of course. A few more Lings going to show up. I mean, the thing is, if Reynor holds on now anyways, even if Reynor survives this, he's lost so many workers that he just doesn't really deal with the follow-up at all. So, GG's. Harstem picking up to the top right-hand side. Down a map. Our red Zerg player. It's Reynor. Up against the blue Protoss player to the bottom left from Asterion Gaming. Let's hear it for Harstem. Game 2 of the best of 5 as a probe here from Harstem going to start running across over to the right hand side of the map. So bringing this over to the right, I'm just going to be seeing the Overlord from Reynor coming out. Second Overlord as well. Hatchery about to drop down. All of this getting established here nice and early on. Probe comes up, we'll see what's happening here in the mineral line, and we'll see a few drones just mining away. Overlord from Reynor. Scouting across the map again, just Harstem selling the idea that this wasn't an all-in quite nicely, and Reynor didn't have the numbers. And that's the big difference. Reynor didn't have the numbers, Harstem got up to that very scary number of Zealots. So that by the time you actually break through the Zealots, it's just way too late. Because the Zealots are finally down. And well, those Roaches are still just like, well, hi. We've been dying to the Immortals all this time. We had 30 kills on the Immortals by the time those Zealots were dead. And that's obviously way too many. Obviously some of those are Zerglings, some of those were Queens, but overall it's just a lot of units that went down throughout the course of this. Just going to be seeing that Nexus dropping in on the natural then as an Overlord on the bottom, an Overlord coming up the ramp. Again, nothing crazy about this early game. Just the probe scout across the map from Harstem to try and nibble and deny some of the mining a little bit here as well. There's some bits and pieces as we see again. Nice little bit of mining there, pushing a couple drones off of the patch, stopping that double stack from coming up. Reynor going to send some drones down to the natural expansion here. Just going to get those drones down to the natural, get that rolling. Overlord coming across to the bottom left-hand side. Sub Johnson Rod 80 with the Twitch Prime sub. Thank you so much for the 10 months. Thank you so much indeed for the 10 months of love. Much appreciated it. Much appreciated it. Much appreciated. I say that a lot. Much appreciated, don't I? Guys, we're at 1.9k viewers. Let's get the hype rolling. Let's try and hit 2k here for the grand finals. It'd be really awesome to break the 2k viewer mark. We haven't done that for a little while. Had some help along the way today, some hosts from Muslim and others. But let's try break the 2k, it would be sick. And again, thank you Johnson Rod 80 for the 10 months on the Twitch Prime. It's awesome with a fast robo again. I wonder if this time it goes into the more kind of macro variant of this, where he kind of does what he did on that game against... what was that game? What was that map? It was against the laser course, and was it Port Alexander, where he just killed so many drones? He killed drones with the Adepts, and he warped into more. I think it was Port Alexander. And then the Immortals came across and did a lot as well. What's up, Anonymous Cheerer? Coming in with the 500 bits. Thank you so much for the 500. Much appreciated. Thank you very much indeed. Appreciate it. 4 more gates coming down here from Harstem. This is just going to be aggression. Oh, cancels a gate and builds himself a forge. Okay. Well, there still is going to be 4 gates, so there will still be a little bit of Warp Prism based aggression. We'll use this high ground vision now to push this initial overload away. Zerglings coming across the map in good numbers to be able to defend against that Stalker, though. Let's see the Adept here as well. Harstem just drop a pylon to defend. Overload for the moment survives. There's 4 more Stalkers will warp in, though, so there's quite a few units that can push forwards. And again, that Overlord is destined to die, but it will see this attack coming over. Warp Prism leading the charge of this then. As you see some more lings around the bottom. Immediately, 2 Spine Crawlers building up on the natural. Reynor's really committing to a defense here. This is a lot of spines. He's down 7 workers, Reynor. Harstem is doing a very good job of selling an idea of this as being way more. I think Reynor probably expects this to be like 8 gates or so. Obviously, that's not quite the case. He will get supply blocked here, Reynor. Catches those units, but it'll only be a couple of gateway unit kills for, again, such a huge delay on economy. Reynor is still down 8 workers. He kills the Cybernetics core, which is nice, but well, now he's got a lot of lings to run across the map. Harstem just needs to make sure he can defend this. He does have 1 sentry with a force field available. Now a Roach Roaring on the way from Reynor too. Harstem still has Stalkers to come into the back of the main, and well, those lings are going to be dealing some damage, sure, but I'll tell you what else is going to be dealing some damage. Those Stalkers will get something done. They drop in here, and already those drones pulling off the mineral line. So not only is Reynor down in drones, he's not mining with his drones. Stalker's getting a couple of kills. It doesn't take a lot to deal damage here for Harstem. Forces a transfuse on an Overlord. He's going to force another one as well. Nope, he gets the kill. Has held off over here too. The force field obviously was there as well, and you know, just available if required. Another drone picked off as Harstem. Really, I love what he's done in this early game. He's put himself in just such a good position. Cybernetics core. Finishing up here in the natural. Single Zergling running forwards. Zapped and a couple of Zealots here. Able to pick that Zergling off. Another Zealot warping in at the front. 2 more sentries warping through. Twilight Council building up on the natural expansion. More Zerglings of Reynor coming across down to the bottom left-hand side. We'll be able to deny the 3rd base here most likely. I mean, there's just not enough units right for Harstem. Tries to hold on to it, but now he's going to have to drop force fields to protect his sentries. He's going to lose the one that had a force field left on it as well. I mean, 2 sentries going down, make that 3 as Reynor dives back. Yes, it's a good few lings, but the sentries are very expensive to replace, and that's gas from Harstem, which you just would have rather spent elsewhere and would have rather had those numbers still up and running. He does have 4 Stalkers coming back into the main again. How many times are these Stalkers going to show up? And there is not really anything to defend them. Stalkers begin to unload, and Reynor will have to move his workers away. Stalkers now free-shotting the drones with the +1 attack upgrade finished. He's going to get himself a Roach here that just popped out. And he's actually dealing some damage to the Queens. I didn't mind the idea of the Warping. The Warping would have been really nice. Oh, but it's cost him the Warp Prism. For a moment, I kind of thought it was going to get away. That's a huge loss for Harstem. 4 Stalkers and the Prism. I wonder what the Zealots would have done anyways, right? There's quite a few Roaches coming up now. In a way, I wonder if those Zealots would have just been wasted as well, but of course, to lose the Prism is never a good thing, so still nice for Reynor here, of course. As we do see those Roaches all gathering up. The thing is, though, again, we saw this kind of with Harstem against a laser. There's no upgrades for the Zerg player. It's just Roaches with Roach speed on the way up. And Harstem is going into +2 already. It's almost done. He's going to have Charge. He's going to have Archons and Immortals. If he can hold off the swell of units from Reynor, he might just be okay. Okay, Reynor's even going to start a +1 upgrade, so he's not even that committed to just the Roaches. He's going to tech up. So Harstem, I don't think is going to be in the immediate trouble then. Another Zealot going to warp in down on that 3rd base. Warp Prism loads up the 2 Archons. So just going to go and harass again. Obviously cannot afford to lose this Warp Prism though. He's going to be seeing the Archons coming out into the center. Going to drop down. A couple of Creep Tumors already being picked off. Some Archons picked off right there. Just going to be seeing Zealots are coming across with this. So Harstem's getting aggressive. Now he's on +2. So it's actually Harstem bringing the fight to Reynor. He only has 1 Immortal. He was mostly just building these Archons initially. It's a lot more zealots, but it's a ton of roaches. Force fields are very good, though. Look at how many roaches get trapped in the front. Obviously, the Archon splash is very good there, too. The corrosive bile comes down just in time to let the zealots continue forwards. It doesn't actually help Reynor that much, that corrosive bile, at all. I love this pullback on the zealots as they start to enter the choke points, positions they're not going to be as good in. There's still a lot of roaches up, but definitely wasn't a bad start to this for Harstem. He gets another couple High Templar. He'll be able to morph them into an Archon. A sentry here for another force field. That base is very low. Another couple force fields don't quite catch the roaches the way they did before, but does force Reynor back, and Harstem's able to pick up this hatchery. 4 Archons, 2 Immortals. I mean, this is the thing. Harstem hasn't really lost any of his tech units here. This Hydralisk Den, surprised if that's going to survive this next few moments, and that means no Hydras. It's still just roaches. And, well, a Ravager. Reynor doesn't even have that much gas because this base got denied, so he hasn't been able to mine from there. He has no gases on this bottom side. Not going good at the moment as... Well, Harstem pressing forward. Still has a couple force fields available. Just catches a handful of roaches once again, and little by little chipping away at that army of Reynor. Maybe time for Harstem to take a moment and just chill out here because, I mean, he's already put Reynor into a really difficult spot. Maybe build up a little bit more. Reynor can only build more roaches, and we all know that more roaches usually doesn't mean much of a better army. Another dead queen. 4 drones going down too. Good little Archon drop from Harstem. Nothing lost for himself while he does so much damage to Reynor here. He's down 8 workers. At least he has +1 missiles now. Is like the only kind of positive thing I can say. Reynor has barely any gas as he throws down a Hydra Den. I feel like that's very hopeful, but maybe hope is what he needs to rely on for the moment, as Harstem looking very good here. These couple of cannons finishing up on the 3rd base. Stalker continuing to push the Overseer around on the left-hand side. Hydralisk Den about to complete on the 3rd as well, and we do see the 2 Archons back into the natural expansion, going to be dropping down and going for a few of these drones. Overseer taking some more damage in that main as well. 7 more workers. I mean, you can't just take 7 workers of damage every time these Archons drop off. Never mind continuing to take damage, because that's, oh my god, 13 workers now? My gosh, a queen as well. Well, at the same time, the roaches do make a play up on the top side. Harstem keeps his Archons alive, though. Army also going to come in on this side, but shield batteries, cannons are going to help hold this position. Harstem's killing it so far. 28, 30 workers killed this game as the Archons coming back into the natural expansion. Resources lost 9,500 from Reynor, 5.6 from Harstem as well. I mean, it's just the numbers that are telling you the story of the game, guys. As Reynor's supply blocked, he's losing more drones. These Archons are still alive, not for long. That War Prism goes super low. Oh my god, the Archons are going to be able to protect the War Prism. Oh, there's only 1 queen shot. Oop, loses 1 Archon. Well, it's something. But of course, Harstem is closing in on maxing out, while Reynor, well, he has got a Lurker Den on the way. I mean, we talked about hope. This is one thing you can definitely hope towards. Get that Lurker Den up, maybe a few Lurkers if Harstem is somehow too passive and walks on top of Lurkers and messes up. It's a possibility, right? It's a possibility. See up TJ Kerman, thank you so much for the 9-month Twitch primary sub. When will WardiTV be available under Wardy? I wish I could change my Twitch name, dude. I tried to contact Twitch again, they didn't get back to me about it. Feels bad, man. There's the Spine Crawl and the Queen going down in the main base. Going to be seeing these drones running away. We're just here in the main base, so I'm going to be able to get rid of all those zealots, so it's nice, though, because it keeps Reynor pinned back, and what's Harstem doing? You know, he's got Storm, he's got tons of High Templar, tons of energy, Sentries are full of energy, Archons and Immortals have built up too. The only thing Harstem's missing is actually starting a 4th base. Which, I mean, okay, Reynor's only just gotten a 4th base up now that he's not mining from yet. It just feels like something that he probably could have started to set up a little bit. Man, there's such a good defense here as well, an Immortal and cannons. When these storms start dropping, it's going to get painful. There are the Lurkers, though, so there's the opportunity from Reynor, perhaps. These Lurkers start pressing forwards. Archon's coming through. Initial force fields drop down. Does Harstem have detection? I feel like no, he doesn't. Not in this army. And so I think that's going to be the one thing missing for him here that stops him from actually attacking in. And we'll get a War Prism warp into the main base, but actually there's roaches here already. These roaches over on the 3rd are dealing some damage as well. Those cannons are finally being broken down, and one Immortal with some Zealots will do an okay job, but will it get rid of all of these roaches? apparently will do enough, as Harstem also was just running into the natural here. Let's jump into this and see what's going to happen. Welcome to the stream. If you just joined us from Loco's channel, Harstem, our blue Protoss, is up 2-0 in this best of 5. As we have to the top left, our red Zerg, we've got Reynor. Game 3 of the series. Can he bounce back from the 0-2 deficit? Again, thank you so much, Loco, for the host. Just as we're hitting peak viewers. Awesome to see. Awesome to have you guys with us. Again, this tournament's been happening all week long. We've had great matches in it. We've been live for 5 hours now, casting the playoffs here today. And this is going to be our best of 5 final. Again, I see a couple of people in the chat. Why aren't the finals best of 7? Well, the players have been here for 5 hours as well. And obviously, we've actually had a pretty quick run through the playoffs. It's definitely possible we could have had much longer matches. We just didn't want the players to be here for way too long, right? And it's also the ladder race this weekend for WCS qualifiers, so we don't want to keep the players around all day if they have to play some ladder games for those, for that. So just keeping in mind the needs of the players here. Setting this up, getting this going. As we do see a Cybernetics core dropping down here from Harstem Nexus, coming down on the natural. I don't see the point of a 2K laptop. Rather have a 2K desktop. Depends what you do. I have a gaming laptop and it's amazing. I use it all the time. I mean, obviously I use it a little bit to stream on and stuff when I travel. I feel like if you travel a lot and you still want to play games, a gaming laptop's a very good investment. Because I can play anything I want on my laptop without even thinking about it. When I go to LAN events, I travel with my laptop because it saves me packing my PC into my car. There's a lot of good reasons. Sure, it's not going to be as powerful as the desktop is for the same price and so on, but it has its own benefits. Cybernetics core being chrono boosted here pretty early. Fairly fast adept out as well. Twilight in the Robo facility, so going to be a Dark Shrine for the third game here from Harstem. We've seen all of his strategies already today, it feels like, with his series against a laser earlier on. We saw him also playing against Zanster, but that wasn't much of a series, more of a, a quick 2-0. We don't really think about that one. That was definitely the worst series we've cast today, but we've seen a lot of Harstem's PvZ is what I'm trying to say, and his builds obviously becoming very regular to us now, so it's no surprise to see this Dark Shrine Archon drop opening. Used this to pretty good effect against a laser back on year 0. Turned into a game where laser all-ined into him with kind of like 150, 200... That was like, like 180 supply, I guess, of Roach Ravager against... Well, Harstem just had very good upgrades, Archons, Immortals, and even had Storm, I think, and just defended it very easily. A few gates on the way up. Dark Temple are going to be on the way in very shortly. Circling speed coming through. It's just going to be seeing the few Zerglings on the way out at the moment, so getting that up and running here, and just going to see a couple drones on the way in as the lair starts. On the natural expansion, it's a fairly fast lair from Reynor. Again, link speed about to finish up for him. Just no Rotron with that lair, but it could come down in the next couple of moments. And that Dark Shrine about to finish. The Warp Prism coming across the map to warp those 4 DTs in. Just going to come over to the left-hand side. We do see a couple of Queens sat out on the far left as well here. As we see 3 DT is going to warp in initially. Lair isn't done, but there is a Spore Crawler in position with the Lings there. I don't think the Spore Crawler is in any threat of truly going down. DT's just going to stop themselves from being surrounded to make sure the Lings don't do too much. Gets a few kills so far. Just loses that 1 DT there. He picked up the other 2 DTs first. And so the one on the top that was actually in trouble got surrounded there, as we are going to be seeing a couple of DTs coming down the left side, and Archon going to start morphing in. The DT will be able to protect this Archon quite easily. And it is just straight to Hydralist here from Reynor, so not messing around at all. Ling Hydra going to be his setup. I wonder how aggressive he gets with it, because no Banelin Nest just yet. We've kind of haven't really seen a lot of kind of 50 to 60 drone attack timings from Zerg players lately, but Ling Hydra was a very typical way to be aggressive on 50 to 60 drones and to try and end games fairly quickly from the Zerg's point of view. he's going to add up to 56 drones at the moment. The first few Hydras on the way out. Needs to start a groove spines or something. And he does actually get that going with this next little bit of gas. Charge on the way up. Immortal being built here as well. And we do see the third Nexus dropping down from Harstem as an Adept and a couple of Zealots coming over. Going to be able to pick off that Zergling very easily. So third base just coming up while keeping Reynor distracted back at home. A couple of sentries warped in as well, as that's going to be a probe going down between the bases. Zergling's making a good little pick off there. As we do see the groove spines upgrade about halfway done. More Hydralisks on the way out. Another extractor coming down in the third base. And we do see 4 gates coming up in the main. Again, nice little play with these Zerglings here, catching a couple of probes. Catches one more. And wow, that's going to be 2 more. That's 4 probes he's just found, traveling between the natural and the third base here. Really, really well done out of Reynor. Observer moving in towards the main. +1 missile attack upgrade from Reynor getting started as well. Again, that groove spine upgrade is about to finish. Gives you the options to move across the map with those Hydras and have that little bit of extra range. Of course, moving across the map will be a lot easier with Muscular Augments, which is the next upgrade started. So getting that up and running. +1 missiles as well to upgrade those Hydralisks here. Get those ready to roll as the Queen's coming through. And Reynor going to be spreading that creep further out onto the map now. Hydralisks in the center. Some Zerglings joining up as well. A lot of Zerglings, a lot of Hydralisks. I mean, 66 drones, so it is just full freebase saturation. But again, still no Bane in this, so really bypassing that. And Harstem, don't know if you can get Storm here while staying safe against what really is just a swell of units being made at the moment. But if you could get Storm, he'd be very good against this, obviously. I feel like pushing forwards right now could be very bad for Harstem. He's going to see these Lings coming through. He sees the Queens as well. He might just be looking to try and spread some creep, but he has to be careful about it. So a lot of Hydralisks, which he's going to see. Good force field will buy time for the moment, but now he definitely knows what's coming. And why is he building the Templar Archives? Oh, because he's... I'm so dumb. He's building Templar Archives so he can build Archons. He had the Dark Shrine for these first few Archons, of course. My bad, guys. Bit of a derpy moment for myself. I was trying to just hold this ramp in the center so the Hydras don't come across very quickly, and so you can make some pickups, but he loses an Archon there right away. Some extra Zealots showing up. He will get quite a few Hydras. Probably is worth the Archon at the end of the day. He did set up a shield battery down on this third base. Storm now will start, but again, does he get Storm in time? I feel like he really doesn't, because this is still just tons of Lings and Hydras. Well, Warp Prism across the map. Gotta enjoy that, because it is going to pull Reynor back. Harstem doing the right things to buy himself time. Warp Prism will go down, but even a few seconds here goes a huge way when he's trying to get Storm up on the map. Reynor builds a few drones to replace what was lost instantly back into the center. Still just building so many Hydras. Storm, 40 seconds out of 79. It's halfway done. High Templar are building up energy, but these Hydras are already starting to arrive. Ling is running up the ramp towards the natural. Harstem. This is not going to be a fun few moments for him here, guys. 20 seconds for Storm. He will have Chrono Boost to speed that up a little bit. DT warped in. Overseer wasn't here just yet. These units need to back away the force fields to buy some more time. Storm is ready in 2 seconds. And it's going to be absolutely huge to help him out, but will he still have enough anyways? Some extra GTs warping in to try and close this out. The first 2 Storms drop. More Storms dropping down. A couple High Templar need to drop Storms before they die. All the High Templar have been killed, though. I think Reynor just has a little bit too much here this time around. Hydras coming in. Immortals and an Archon are going to keep on moving through as well. Reynor takes game number 3 of the series. Afterwards, every subscription helps us put on more tournaments. It helps us put prize money into more matches and helps fund these players playing and stuff, as well as just me being able to cast for you guys. What's up, Melty? How you doing? As we get this up, ready to roll. To the top left-hand side, our red Protoss player from Asterion. This is Harstem. Up against the blue Zerg in the bottom right. Give it up for Reynor. Game 4 of this best of 5 series. As we get this rolling. Alrighty then, guys. Game number 4. Harstem has actually had some good success on King's Cove lately. Against the pros players, his macro games, they always seem a bit shaky. I'm a little bit unconvinced, and suddenly he pulls it out and he just takes it down. He won on King's Cove against Namshar in the group stages. He won against Reynor in the group stages on King's Cove as well. So he's really had a very good time with with King's Cove as a map. He won against a Laser on this map, 2 earlier on in the semi-finals today. As my man Melty comes in with the 4-month resub. Thank you so much, Melty. Appreciate it, dude. Appreciate it, dude. Missed out a D in there. Thank you so much. Get some hype in the chat for Melty, please, guys. And his 4 months of love. What a legend. Overlord coming across to the top left-hand side. Early game scouting setups being made here early on. Harstem will opt to not send anything across the map just yet. So we'll not go for the scout for the moment. We'll just hang back. Couple of queens on the way up from Reynor. That Nexus coming down. Dep going to get Chrono boosted. Twilight Council drops in on the main base, and we are going to see Harstem. Well, we'll see if he goes Robo Facility or if he just goes Resonating Glaives. Harstem is not afraid to play the Adept opener. It works out quite regularly for him, actually. It could be a good way to switch things up. There's a large map, so it takes a while for those Adepts to cross, but it could also be a way for Harstem to maybe make Reynor think, yeah, you know what, why would he go Adepts here? We'll see what the scouting from Reynor looks like. Right now, 2 Lings are running right towards the main base. Okay, there's a Robo Facility too, so probably a Dark Shrine then, as you are going to be seeing the Stalker. He's going to get a couple of shots off on the first Ling. Really wants to try and deny scouting, but straight up here, Robo Facility scouted, and so Reynor gets a good scout of what this is probably going to be. Adept across the map will try and shade up. Probably just looking for info more than anything. He did kill 2 Lings, so you might feel as though he can get in here and deal some damage, but decides not to. I mean, the Adept vision is so low, you don't know how many more Zerglings are sat there waiting for you, and you'd rather keep the Adept alive than roll on the dice on it being able to pick off a couple of drones. So the Adept on the way back to the natural expansion, the gateway, finishing off the wall off here as well. We'll be seeing the Dark Shrine coming in the back of the main base, the extra gateway dropping down, actually a couple of gateways dropping down. So 3 more gates building up, of course. I mean, this is just very typical of this Archon drop, something that Harstem has obviously done previously in this series too. And, well, let's face it, the last time we saw some Archons dropping on New Repugnancy, that was pretty painful. That really, really sucked. Obviously, it didn't do so much on the last map, but, you know, it's definitely got the potential. As we set up into this, and just going to be seeing the single Zergling to the side, a few more on the map as well. I mean, it's really just a case of waiting for that Prism to move across and for those DTs to come in. That's going to be our real source of action here after 4 minutes of gameplay. So Prism coming straight across the map down to the bottom side. Going to be running in a few moments. A few Zerglings coming underneath, and there are some Zealots. Sorry, not Zealots. DTs warping in finally. Spore Crawler finishing up in the main, in the natural. Already one done on the third base as well, so getting those ready to go. As we do see the DTs pressing in, and ooh, that's the Queen kill. Oh, talk of the Queen gone. Does he just want to get the Zerglings instead? I mean, I guess he's going to kill most of the Zerglings. Has to get out of there, though. I kind of thought he'd get the Queen, but as the Lings are nice too, forces other units up to be able to keep on dealing with the DTs. I just feel like the Lings die so easily to the Archon anyway that it's not super necessary. Oh my god, those DTs. They want to be so close together. They want to merge, but this one Archon is just getting in the way. Oh my god. Well, that's what you call a love triangle. This one Archon doesn't want the other 2 DTs to love each other. He wants to be the only Archon. As we do see the Zerglings gathering together, coming up in towards the third base right now. 2 more gates added on, a forge into the main base as well. And we are going to be seeing this. Lolling is just sat between the base and Archons. Not really going to do much against Queens and Roaches at the front. Turned around to begin with here. And there's a melee upgrade out of Reynor. Getting that started as Roach speed just about halfway done. 4 more gates coming in from Harstem. And a Spire dropping down in the back of the main. Prism still just hanging out overhead. And you do see a few of those lings from Reynor starting to press forwards just a little bit. A couple of sentries coming along over to the side. Lings are going to go and grab a pylon there, or try to at least. And back up, and well, a couple of zealots are feeling very brave there. The sentry feeling even braver being this far out. Now he saves it with the 2 force fields. Unfortunately, it does go down still. At least he killed all the Zerglings in the end, but definitely still not worth the sentry. Little pickups by Reynor. Little pickups. Could be bringing him back into this series, guys. War Prism down to the bottom side of the map. Hallucinated Phoenix flying on through. The Spire is about to finish up from Reynor in the next few moments. Charge going to complete from Harstem in the main base. Stalker fighting against this Overseer, getting quite a lot of damage done, pushing it out through the top side. And now the Archon's dropping back in, a couple of drones going down. So again, another little bit of damage. Doing quite nicely so far. Queen doing some more damage once again. War Prism taking a few more shots. Prism just comes around the side here. Queen again, dealing some damage to the Prism, pushing it into the corner. There is going to be a recall on it. Oh, super low. 6 HP is what that Warp Prism survived on. That was one hot hit from death as the Spire on the way up. Did he see the Spire? I mean, obviously he must have done, right? It's right in the back here. So Harstem knows about the Spire. He knows about the Mutalisk potential. He's already adding on extra cannons in this mineral lines. He's got shield batteries here to back them up as well. This one missile attack is about to finish up. And the Mutalisk here from Reynor going to start pushing across the map, of course. So the State Phoenix is trying to keep up to date with what's going on. A lot of Roach Ravager from Reynor as a follow-up, by the way. Feels like as the Mutas come in and do some damage, he's going to try and overwhelm Harstem with a follow-up ground army. Not taking up too greatly behind this, not continuing with Mutas as one probe goes down. There's a couple. Yeah, honestly, this cannon dealing some good damage, though. And the Storm gets started, Harstem is defending well. I mean, this is not a terribly terrifying amount of Mutas at all, right? 6 Mutalisks, you know, they're a good number. They'll get a few probes here and there. They're mostly meant to force Harstem maybe even into an overreaction so that he's more vulnerable to this upcoming attack where Roaches, Ravagers, Lings, and Banes really feels like they're going to swell across the map and swarm Harstem shortly, but Harstem's going for the right response. Storm not investing into Stargates and Phoenix, which would then be very useless after these Mutas go down. I think that Harstem's absolutely setting up in a way that should allow him to defend very well. Moving on here. Oh, but High Templar. Obviously, they do not want to morph into the Archon. Had to morph one in just to save one of the High Templar there. Well, that's a nice little save. Nicely done. There's 32 more Zerglings on the way up. Okay, well, Reynor didn't end up being as aggressive as I thought. He will now drop the Infestation Pit and look towards future kind of setups, probably Hive, Greater Spire, because he already has the Spire up and running, so it's a pretty natural sort of direction to move in. A few Zealots and a DT going to set up down here. Ooh, that War Prism is going to be found by the Mutalisks. It's a nice find, and a few Zealots that were inside of it go down. The one DT will run on forwards, will run past all of those morphing Banelings. A few Zealots do get caught. And the DT in the end is not really going to do much. Finally it arrives on the base, but Reynor seems to know about it. I love the recall from Harstem. Gets it out of there. Why not save the DT if you can? It's going to do more than getting picked off then by a Roach Ravager army that's already surrounded it, stopping it getting to any drones. Well, now Harstem will start a Stargate. This time it's not a response to the Mutas, it's a response to the fact his opponent is stacking up towards that Hive. Mutas will deal some damage to the new Nexus on the 4th base on the low ground here. Reynor maxed out, but not making any moves. Is kind of happy to sit back and to let this go on for a while. Realist here, finding a Hallucinated Phoenix in the center of the map. Taking that down as well. These Archons, Immortals, and High Templar still spread across the front, as the Roaches are going to come all the way up to the top side as well. A few more drones on the way down. I think that was the DT making a reappearance across the map, but I missed it happening, so apologies. Mutas get some revenge worker kills though. And the 6 of them still doing such a great job. I mean, this sort of Muta control where he keeps these Mutas alive for so long kind of reminds me of Serral, because Serral's Mutas always stay alive all game long. They always find damage all the way through the game, and you know, even though, you know, they're meant to have been kind of past their sell-by date, they're still doing way more than they should, as these roaches in the third base are going to deal a lot of damage. I don't know what Harstem's plan is. His army on the other side of the map is not making any forward moves at the moment. I mean, it's just kind of trying to find a way around this side, maybe using this choke point to his advantage. He has a lot of storms. He has force fields as well. Yes, it's scary fighting those banelings. I am absolutely certain of it, but I mean, your entire third base is going down. He's warped in some storms to try and help deal with it. Oh, the High Templars do get their storms off before the banelings connect. Harstem's army is pressing through. 78 Zerglings on the rebuild out of Reynor. I think he knows if he can just get enough banelings up here, that realistically banelings are eventually going to wipe this army out. Mutas have come back as well. These roaches are still on the top side as Harstem has lost so many probes. As the banelings on the way up from Reynor. Harstem has nowhere near as many storms as he had last time around, and he's not going to have many at all if he loses the High Temple with the energy on it. And I think Reynor's making all of the players to take this to a game number 5. Archon's jumping onto these mutalisks. The banelings rolling forwards. The army has nowhere to split to. Roaches back in from the top side, and Harstem's taking too much damage on the other side of the map as well. Reynor might have lost his 4th and his 5th base, but he has a hell of an army left over, and Harstem has nothing at all. GG in the grand final. To the top left-hand side, let's start off with our player who is on a comeback at the moment. In the top left, our blue Zerg. Give it up if you're cheering on Reynor. Up against the red Protoss player. To the bottom right-hand side from Asterion, it's Harstem. So I have so many of you here at the very start of the game. I want to say, first of all, thank you all for joining us today. What a great tournament it has been. The viewership has been out of this world. Thank you, everyone, for the hosts and just for tuning in. Don't forget to hit the follow button if you haven't already. See when I'm casting again in the future. And of course, if you're really enjoying, there's ways to support through subbing and stuff. You guys know that. If you're a Twitch Prime user, don't forget you get a free sub with your Twitch Prime. If you've got it available, we'd love to have it at home for a month. Helps us just as much as any other sub to keep on putting out the competitions that we cast and running the events that we run as well. But I do want to say as well that we're putting a lot of work into the YouTube channel lately. The youtube.com/WardiTV. You can !YT or YouTube in the chat. Get the link over. We're putting up 3 unique casts on YouTube every week nowadays. So if you like extra StarCraft content and you don't mind checking out YouTube videos, we're putting games on YouTube that you will not see on the stream at all. So do check that out if you're looking for even more Wardy action. If you enjoyed the cast in a day, and it goes a long way to helping us out as well. Because it does, yeah, we're just trying to grow the YouTube. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers on YouTube this year. That's the goal. So, if you want to give us a hand over there, check it out. And we get this underway now, though. Let's talk about this game. As the hatch is about to finish up, the Nexus is going to be done, and the decisions are going to start being made. How does Harstem open here on Port Alexander to try and take Reynor down? And what does Reynor have planned for Harstem on this map as well? I mean, again, this was the map where Harstem did a very good job with Adept and Immortal harassment, with the Warp Prism getting the Adepts in there, then bringing the Immortals across the map. That was against a laser in the semi-finals, of course. We don't really talk much about Reynor's semi-finals, because that was much more about just not dying to the nonsense of Hellraiser. Hellraiser with a lot of cannon rushes, very aggressive build orders on this map. He actually went for Proxy 2 gateways, so we didn't really see a lot of Reynor's kind of more traditional and regular PvZ, or ZvP, because of that. Robo Facility going to be finishing up in a few moments' time. Zergling speed about halfway done. Drone pops out from the main base here from Reynor, and obviously just the first couple lings on the way up. It is that Robo from Harstem, so looking to be fairly similar to what we saw him do against Laser. Oh, he's adding on the 3 gates. Harstem. He's actually only on 1 worker in each cast, so he's probably just going to keep adding on gateways, right? 1 Warp Prism, tons of gateways. He's just going to straight up gateway all in Reynor here and try and kill Reynor really early on in this game. He's gone up to 5 gates. There's the Warp Prism being chrono boosted out again. Very little gas income. He'll be able to afford a couple of Stalkers or so in the army while mostly making Zealots. Well then, so Overlord is kind of pinned over here. In about 20 seconds or so, Harstem would traditionally take his gases on the natural expansion, so that's when Reynor might start figuring out that something a little bit funky is going on. But can he realize how fast this attack is? Oh, Harstem is going to fly through a couple of Zerglings. That's a good scout from Reynor, Now Reynor knows a little bit of what could be coming, in the fact that there's already potentially some aggression on the way out here. So 5 gates is Harstem coming over to the left. Again, has quite a lot of resources, as the first few stalkers will start to warp in. Just 4 of them initially. Adept joins up as well. Oh, those lings on move command. That's a little bit of a shame, running into those stalkers, and Harstem gets a few kills already. Now Reynor has the gas to build 8 roaches. He builds a spine crawler too. Harstem has to go for this ASAP if he wants to. Warps in another zealot here from the prism. Another one as well. He's just going to go for the third base. If he can kill the third base, wonderful. And he can probably transition out of this with the third base being killed off. It will slow Reynor down quite a bit. The problem is, those roaches are going to start coming up here. Oh, he cancels the other couple of roaches. He probably feels like he can't actually hold on to them. Okay, well, 2 roaches already down. Harstem, it's a good pick off for him. He's going to find an overlord as well. That's Reynor's supply block. He already was supply blocked, actually. Oh, that's kind of costly. But 2 spines on the natural. Surely Harstem can't break through 2 spine crawlers. I mean, it is a lot of units, though. It's just the spines are going to do a lot to help Reynor defend. It was a good decision to make those. Harstem backs away for a second. Not completely, though. He has started probes back at home and an immortal. And I think he realizes his best opportunity here might just be to fight this hatchery. Especially because I think he probably looks at this as Reynor supply blocked again. Especially because he probably looks at this and says, well, I'm not breaking the natural, right? But if I kill the third base, he's afraid to fight me. So he's not going to come and stop this from happening. And that's already going to put me into a good position to follow up. So Harstem putting himself into a good little spot here now. Has started to take the gases on the natural. And he is going to start mining some more gas so he can afford more roaches, etc. A couple of force fields. Just going to grab a roach. I mean, right now, Harstem just wants to get a little bit of damage done wherever he can, as Reynor's trying to play catch-up in terms of getting that income set up. He was on an income lead for a while, but Harstem is now on a couple of probe advantage. And again, Harstem just keeping some momentum up here. This army's probably going to start backing the ways. We'll see 2 adepts around the back of the natural mineral line. I think that was maybe seen by the lava. The units were making a move around there very early on. The Queen comes in, gets a couple of shots off on the prism. Just 1 drone, but any drone you kill is going to be painful for Reynor. After losing the third base, he does rebuild a third to the top side. Harstem, for a moment, kind of says, maybe I can get there, and then he kind of realizes, no, I can't. These 2 adepts are actually going to find a lot of damage up here now. He has got a shade moving down to the low ground, but he cancels it to lift up into the prism again. And we'll keep that prism in the back corner. And he's been building immortals for a little while now, so number 2 is on the way up, +1 attack as well. No Twilight Council to create any sort of gateway-based upgrades here. He sets up a shield battery in each of his mineral lines, interestingly enough. We'll kill off this Warlock. I think Harstem probably goes with +1 attack. I think he just goes across the map once again and tries to deal some damage with a larger army, pushing into a third base of Reynor that's been so heavily delayed here. +1 missiles halfway done. Roach speed halfway done. You're going to be seeing this army from Harstem pushing out onto the map, coming into the middle. Another immortal coming out as well. +1 attack is, again, halfway done here at the moment. Just going to see that war prism hiding up to the top left-hand side. What's up, Robert Fari? Upgrades from the 1,000-bit badge to the 5,000-bit badge with the 100-bit cheer. Happy Saturday, Wardy. Thank you so much, dude, for the 100 bits. Much appreciated. Thank you indeed. Roach speed is about to finish up here from Reynor. As you see the Hallucinate Phoenix flying over the natural. A couple of adepts still in that prism trying to be annoying. Harstem's army out on the map as a third base on the way up from him. This Roach army moving forwards, but I guess there is a good few Ravagers in this. A hallucination once again. Harstem wants to try and see what he's up against. Maybe get a rough idea of the unit count here. Just keep track of the army, it seems, so he knows where to be with his own army. +1 about to finish up. There's that War Prism. A couple of adepts unloading in the center. He'll warp in the middle of the map as well. There's a couple of spines from earlier will help Reynor defend if Harstem does want to attack. A 4th Immortal coming through the center of the map as well, but it's not here just yet. Harstem starting +2. Charge. Dark Shrine. He just wants to pressure. He wants to force more roaches out of Reynor. He wants to sell this idea of, hey, look at me. I'm going to be attacking you. You better be ready for it. And all of this is keeping him within a couple of workers of Reynor. And that's obviously fantastic stuff as he sets up a third base and saturates it back at home. He's in a great little spot here. Roach is going to counterattack though. Oh my god, the lone immortal is actually going to see this. And he is going to go down. I mean, it's not worth... I mean, it's going to lose the immortal. That really sucks. You see the A couple of hallucinations through the main and so on. Harstem's trying to figure out what's going on there. Nah, losing that immortal really sucks. It's just in the middle of the map, in the middle of nowhere for whatever reason. Just going to be seeing the roaches coming around this third base. A couple more zealots warping in. Cannon on the third as well. Army out of Reynor pushing through the center. Force fields are down. Buying Harstem some time. Reynor's army is huge, by the way. He has not built anything in terms of drones after 53, so he's just intending purely to go for this attack. Harstem does not have shield batteries or anything on the third. Does he have the force fields to cut this army in half? Well, he keeps a lot of the Roach Ravager away initially, but that's pretty much all his force fields. But no Overseer from Reynor, so the Dark Templar out of nowhere come through and push the Roach Ravager back. Get out of here, says Harstem. Not yet. And time is definitely on Harstem's side as Charge is finishing, +2 is finishing. More DTs warping in as well, and that can be used for Archons as well. Although the Warp Prism is going to survive, if only... Oh, no, it doesn't. Queen actually gets the kill. Wow. I thought it was out of there alive. Thanks so much, Anonymous Cheer, for another 100 bits. Thank you so much. Still no Overseer on this army. Why on earth not? What is Reynor doing? Maybe thinking Harstem, just expecting Harstem not to fall for the same trick twice. But if Harstem sees there's no Overseer, surely he'll just warp in some DTs as a response to this. Reynor's army is absolutely massive at the moment. It feels like Harstem's army has just not built up anything in the last few moments. That Warp Prism going down, etc. We see some Zealots running in. These Immortals trying to kite away, but it feels like there's just too much from Reynor. Wow. What a game by Reynor after losing that third base early on. He maxes out in Roach Ravager. 53 workers all in with this free base play. And he comes straight across on the third base of Harstem, and the army will be going down. And from an 0-2, Reynor will bring it back 3 games in a row. The reverse sweep to take Harstem down and be the champion